Hello, traveler. Welcome to I Am Everything. I am your host, Venus, and today I want to talk about perception. Because if you want to change your life, you have to change how you see yourself and act accordingly. And more importantly, how do you hold that perception? And you hold that perception by acting and repeating. But we will discuss more about how one goes about that. I generally believe that if you lock into a perception of yourself and you refuse to drop it, your life rearranges around it. And no, this is not magic, so it's not going to happen overnight, but it does happen with consistency. You become what you insist on being. I know that may sound dramatic, but this is coming from someone who has lived both extremes. So a little bit about me. I used to be bullied almost every day growing up. And I did not like myself. I am a completely different person from the person who was bullied. And I don't even fully know when this shift happened. I can't point to one exact moment and say, oh, that's when I became this version of me, because it was layered. To be honest, it was so messy. I did a lot of shadow work too. And if you don't know what shadow work is, it is a term used in psychology and even in spirituality or witchcraft. And it is something I find super important. And I think everyone should do it. It's basically when you work on your shadow self or hidden self that you may find unpleasant or shameful, and then you learn to understand it and then heal it and then accept those parts of yourself. But anyways, I digress. There was a lot of crying, a lot of self-hatred, a lot of wishing I could be someone else. Like, oh my God, there was a phase in my life where I wanted to be lighter. Like, that was such a huge one for me. I remember telling my mom once, who is light-skinned in complexion, by the way. I told her, I wish I could be as light as her. And I'm dark-skinned, and thank God I'm dark-skinned. I love my dark skin. But when I think about that now, I know that must have really hurt her, saying that to her. Because every mother, I would assume every mother wants their child to love themselves. But yeah, I didn't want to be me. I thought me was wrong. It's what everyone around me was telling me, and I believed them, and I acted that way. I was insecure. I was ashamed. I let people get away with things because I didn't think I deserved better. And when you don't think you deserve better, then people naturally feel that and they move accordingly. Energy speaks before words do. So I would say, after I did some thinking, it was, I think, around somewhere between grade 11 and 12, after a really big situation in my life. It was something that really forced me to confront myself. It was around there that something just clicked. It wasn't sudden confidence, it was more I just got tired. I got tired of shrinking. I got tired of apologizing for existing, tired of letting people define me, tired of people treating me like poop, I want to use another word, but we're gonna keep it PG here. But yeah, I started experimenting with perception after I got tired, and I was like, you know what? What if I just decided to be that girl? What if I stopped waiting for external proof? What if I spoke about myself the way I wished other people would? So then I started saying, you know what? I'm a goddess. Like saying that feels so good. Like, do you hear how I'm getting so excited now? Like, I truly believe I am a goddess to the deepest parts of my subconscious. Like, every cell in my body knows this girl is a goddess. So, yes, at first it felt ridiculous and it did feel delusional, but I kept saying it. I don't know, it's like I remembered something, and I have no idea why, but I just did. I did. It feels natural saying it. It feels, I don't know, like it feels right saying it. But here's the interesting part though. The more I identified as a goddess, the less I tolerated anything that didn't match that. Because a goddess doesn't beg, a goddess doesn't chase, a goddess doesn't let you talk crazy and then laugh it off. And when I talk about perception, it's some of those things where like you have to use discernment, because I'm not saying, oh, your perception is the supreme right perception of all things. No, I'm just saying when you decide to choose a perception, you need to have actions that go with that perception. So, for example, my perception of me being a goddess, like I said, a goddess doesn't beg, chase, or let you talk crazy, but how does a goddess act, right? A goddess is confident. A goddess is well-spoken. A goddess is beautiful. She takes care of herself. She loves herself. And so you really need to embody your perception. Yeah. Anyways, let's take a break and we will be back. Welcome back to I Am Everything, and we are talking about perception. So, yeah, there came a point where I just stopped laughing at things and people's jokes and stuff, and I started to stand up for myself, and I do it every single time, because there's no way you're gonna come to me and think you can disrespect me in front of my face. So, yes, that meant being called difficult, dramatic, too much, or being seen as too sensitive. And it also sometimes meant losing people. But to be honest, to me, it's second nature. I really could not give a damn, even if I tried. But listen, the truth is, when I was obedient and agreeable and I let people walk over me, they didn't like me then either. So I thought, if I'm going to be misunderstood either way, I might as well be misunderstood while respecting myself. Because, child, you can be the most perfect, kindest person in the world, and still it would not be enough to please everyone. So the perception you hold about yourself becomes a filter. When I say I'm a goddess, it's not ego, it's a standard, and it tells people how to approach me. This is how you speak to me. This is the energy that you bring. And the ones that cannot meet that, they just fall off easy. The ones that try to manipulate, they reveal themselves early. I don't have to fight. I don't have to go around fighting anyone. I don't have to go around disrespecting everyone. I treat everyone with respect. But, I always know, oh, this is the person I can trust. This is the person I can't really talk to. This is the person that gets to see to be part of my inner circle. It's just about having discernment in particular situations and seeing who am I going to allow in my space and who am I going to keep a distance from, you know? So, yeah, when you're clear about who you are, manipulation does not stick. It just slides off and you end up seeing through it and then you just leave. And I do leave. I don't threaten to leave. I don't negotiate my boundaries. I leave. I don't have to explain my boundaries or my reasons to no one. No one has to even know what those boundaries are. I know them for me to protect me, and it works. So when people come back, they come correct. They come with better energy, better offers, more respect. Not because I force them to be better, but because I never dropped the perception. So remember, perception is power. If you see yourself as small, people will treat you as small. If you see yourself as disposable, people will test how disposable you are. But if you walk into a room already knowing who you are, even if you're still healing, even if you're still figuring things out, then the room will adjust to you and your life adjusts. So perception really is about choosing a narrative and holding it long enough for your nervous system to catch up. Because I didn't just wake up loving myself. I had to practice it. And I still practice it every single day, even though it comes second nature to me. And I literally practiced speaking differently about myself. I practiced leaving. I practiced saying no. I practice not over explaining. I practice choosing myself even when it feels uncomfortable. I practice self accountability because I also feel like you need to learn how to be accountable for your actions and what you do and how you think. But yeah, at the end of the day, eventually it doesn't become practice. It just becomes an identity. It becomes second nature to you. So if you want to change your life, don't start with the outside and how other people should treat you. Stop looking outside. Literally, you need to learn to stop seeking validation from others because it really does start with you and how you treat yourself. You need to learn to start with the story you're telling about yourself, and you need to be honest. Who are you when nobody's affirming you? Who are you when there is no applause? And are you willing to hold that perception even when it feels delusional? Because I think that's where the shift happens when you're honest with yourself. I like to think about it like this. When you're about to go to sleep, right? You gotta first pretend to sleep in order to sleep. So the same applies here, and it applies to so many things. That said, let's take a pause and we will be right back. So, about perception, as I was saying, you don't sleep right away. You have to first pretend to sleep in order to sleep when you go to bed, right? So it's the same with confidence. You don't become confident and then act confident. You act confident until your body believes you, and then it becomes second nature. And then the same with, you don't become powerful and then set boundaries. You first set boundaries until you realize you've always been powerful. So perception, I think that's a very big piece of this life game that we are in. I feel like once you understand that, you stop asking for permission to exist. You just allow yourself to exist as you are. and just allow the world to adjust to you. So one of my favorite quotes, and I say this quote all the time, that we live in one earth with 8 billion worlds. Let me say this differently. We live on one earth with 8 billion perceptions. No one sees, hears, thinks, experiences the world the same way. Not even siblings, not even twins. Even your brother or your sister will get a different version of your family. Like they may perceive a different version of your parents. You don't have the same experience as your brother or your sister towards your parents, and they don't treat you the exact same way. So there's so much to say about perception, but I will end it off with that. And that's today's reflection. But of course, before we go, let me leave you with 3 affirmations. As usual, I will say the affirmation 3 times, and then you repeat after each time. Okay, so the first one is, my perception aligns with abundance, love, and opportunity. My perception aligns with abundance, love, and opportunity. My perception aligns with abundance, love, and opportunity. I treat myself the way others treat me. I treat myself the way others treat me. I treat myself the way others treat me. I recognize that perception shapes reality, and I consciously choose empowering perspectives. That was a long one. I'm gonna say it again. I recognize that perception shapes reality, and I consciously choose empowering perspectives. I recognize that perception shapes reality, and I consciously choose empowering perspectives. One more time. I recognize that perception shapes reality, and I consciously choose empowering perspectives. Amazing! Anyways, remember, I am what I am, and I am everything. And so are you. Thank you for listening.
Electricast. Hey guys, this is Peter Rafelson, and I am the president of Electricast Media, and I am so honored today to introduce you to an upcoming podcast called Coding and Jamming with Jacob, and I have our very special guest and host of the show, Jacob Deal. Say hello, Jake.
Hey everyone, looking forward to getting started with you.
Tell us in 10 seconds what you're going to be doing on this show.
I'm going to be teaching everyone how to code from C to JavaScript to HTML, and on the side we're going to play a little music. I think you're going to learn a lot.
Sounds educational and fun. Count me in wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome to I Am Everything, I am your host, Venus, and here we talk about identity, power, healing, spirituality, sensuality, and what it means to live honestly in your body and your truth. So, if you're navigating, becoming, and learning or returning to yourself, this podcast is perfect for you. So, welcome to I Am Everything.
Electric acid.